America the Beautiful is a classic patriotic song. The words come from a poem written by Catherine Lee Bates, and the music was composed by Samuel A. Ward. There are countless arrangements of this song. This is one that I arranged. It's kind of a custom arrangement that's meant to feature the electric guitar, but I meant it to be as versatile as possible. So there's also an acoustic guitar part on there that will provide a chordal accompaniment, and if you wanted to sing one or all of the verses, or you wanted to accompany someone else singing one or all of the verses, you could use the acoustic guitar to do that. It's in the same key that Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert do it in, and it will have that same kind of musical style. All right, for the acoustic guitar, we'll talk through the intro, verse progression, the chorus progression, and then the outro. Let's start by learning the chords that we're going to need. We'll start with just what we need for the intro, which is just going to be one strum per chord anyway. Start on a D, which is open D string, then second fret of G, third fret of B, second fret of high E, and then a C, just a standard C major, so that's third fret of A, mute the low E string, second fret of D, open G, first fret of B, open high E, and then just take your ring finger off that third fret of A and play the A string open, and we've got an A minor 7 that we'll be using throughout the song. Okay, we'll need all those in the verse too, and then we'll also add in these following chords for the verse, because that was the whole intro. We did this for one measure, the C for a measure, and then the A minor 7 for a measure. And then we get into the verse. We'll need a G. I'm going to play my G's like this, which is a very easy way to play a G, and it's a nice open sounding way to play it as well. Third fret of low E, that ring finger also mutes the A string. Then we have open D, G, and B with third fret of high E. The reason I play it like this is because we need to get to a G7, and I just like that sound, especially for a song like this. So for a G7, when you see that, just drop the pinky and put your pointer finger on the first fret of the high E string. Everything else stays the same. All right, and then in this first verse, or in all the verses that you play, if you're singing along with this, we're going to need an E7, so that's open low E string, second fret of A, open D, first fret of G, third fret of B, and an open high E string. And then an A7, A dominant 7, which is open A string, second fret of D. Then that's the open G string, second fret of B, and open high E string. Mute the low E string. And that will be all the chords that we need until we get to a couple little variations for the outro, which we'll talk about when we get there. So the strumming, when we start the verse, is going to be the same strumming we use for the whole song. And we can kind of vary it a couple different ways to keep it interesting and appropriate for how much energy the band is putting forth at any given moment in the song. So the strumming pattern will be this. Down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, 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 up, down, down. Now there's some subtleties to the way I'm playing it, right? I'm not going down, 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 up, down, down. I'm starting on the low strings here, especially for this verse. It's almost arpeggiating these chords a little bit. We're starting on just the low strings, down, down, up, down, down. So start on the low strings, then the middle, down, down. Then hit the high strings, up, a little bit lower, up, down, and then the last downstroke, get the high ones again. This is not an exact science at all. It's just a way that we can kind of, instead of going, it's a way that we can put a little feel into what we're playing and keep it interesting. So for the quieter verses, we'll do it more like that. Down, down, up, down, down. Then continuing on through a verse, we'll hit a D chord. Down, down, up, down, down, When we get to the A minor 7, just 2 downstrokes. Down, down to the D, down, down, and back to the G. Then when we get back to the G chord here, it'll be the first time that we have to split the chord in the middle of the strum pattern. So it'll be G to a D, down, 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 up, up, down, down. So we're switching halfway in between the strum pattern, down, 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 up to the D, up, down, down. And then back to the G for the second half of the verse. Down, 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 up, up, down, down to the D, down, down, up, up, down, down to the E7, down, down to the A7, down, down to the D. And this time we're going to make it a D sus. So instead of this, like a regular D, we're going to add our pinky down to the 3rd fret of high E, and then we'll take it off halfway through the strum pattern again. Down, 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 up to the regular D, up, down, down. And then we're into the chorus. So I know I was blabbing a lot over a lot of that. So this time we've got the strum pattern down, right? I'm just going to play through nice and fluidly through a verse, and I'll just call out the chords instead of blabbing the strum pattern the whole time. So here's what a verse looks like with just me calling out the chords. Starting on the G, G, to the D, A minor 7, to the D, G, D, G, to the D, E minor, or sorry, E dominant 7, A dominant 7, D sus, D. All right, we're gonna keep that same strumming for the chorus, but we're gonna beef it up instead of arpeggiating so much, like that. In the chorus, it'll be more like. All right, just a little bit beefier. So I'll do the same thing. We know the strum pattern. I'll call out the chords as we go through a chorus. All right, here's how a chorus looks. As always, this is all charted out. There's a chord chart right beneath the video player at 6-string country. So pull that up. That will really help. We're going to start on a G for the chorus. To a D. A minor 7, just 2 downstrokes. Same thing on a D. Now we're going to get to a G again, and we're going to go all downstrokes. Down, 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 G7. To the C, down, down, up, up, down, down, G. A minor 7, and then the D. And then for the chorus turnaround, we're going to do all downstrokes. G, 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 D, 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 D. And then you're back into the chorus. Let's play it again. G to G7. And to C. To G. A minor 7. And then we're to the outro. And if you looked at that jam along video, you saw this chord. And then this chord. All right, so this one is just C over G. So we were just on a G, right? So just leave that there. We're just going to be putting down our middle finger on the 2nd fret of D and our pointer finger on the 1st fret of B, leaving that G string open, and everything else stays the same. So we're going to do that, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, off, and that's it for us. And so this next one is really a D sus over G, which is 3rd fret of low E, mute the A string, 4th fret of D, open G, 3rd fret of B, open high E. All right, guys, and that's everything. So let's turn on the metronome and let's play through a verse progression and a chorus progression at full speed along with the click. 1, 2, 3, verse. chorus. We'll break up the lead tutorial into 3 different parts. This first one will cover the intro and the verse. This is all tabbed out, as always, right beneath the video player at 6stringcountry.com. I actually mic'd up an amp for this one. I usually run through a software for tone. I just wasn't able to find one that I really liked for this arrangement, so I mic'd up a Fender Deluxe. I've got this American Telecaster here on the neck pickup. Just had a little bit of gain, not much, a healthy dose of reverb and some delay. I used a Cusack Music Tapa delay with the modulation setting on 1. So that's the tone I got. Again, feel free to alter that however you'd like. It could be fun to do something like this with a little more gain too, but I wanted to make sure we were able to bring out all these double stops and the multiple notes that we're playing at the same time without it getting too muddy. So anyway, here is the introduction. And then we're into the verse. All right, so this is kind of mimicking a pedal steel. So we're going to start up here on the G string with our pick. That's the 9th fret. Then we're going to be clucking these other strings: B string, 10th fret, E string, 7th fret. And we're going to be bending this mechanically like a pedal steel. So it's not, we're doing a kind of pick and cluck at the same time. And then a mechanical bend up a whole step. And then we're going to go right down high E, B, and G. And then do the exact same thing down 2 frets, so that's 7, 8, 5, but the same motion. Then this one we'll want to pick. So we're getting here 5, 5, and 3 of high E. We'll pick through all of them, and then use your middle finger as help with your ring finger to bend that G string up a full step. Bring it back down, and then that's the first note of melody for the verse. So the next section will be into the verse here. We'll do this. All right, let's get that much. So we're really following the melody pretty closely here with some harmony in there, some double stops. So we've got 3rd fret of B, and then we've got 4th of G and 3rd of B, then 5th of D and 4th of G, back over to the G and B string, but now slide that middle finger down to 2 and get your ring finger on the 3rd fret of B, and then get ready to do, which is 2 of G, 4 of D. So far it's. Now we have a little run here. All right, so we're doing this on the G string, 2 to 4, and then a half bend. Don't overbend it. Then we're going to have the 3rd fret of B. We're going to cluck the high E string. Then 1st fret of E. Pull it off to open. 3rd fret of B. We'll come back down on G to the 4th fret. So. And to end that phrase, 2, open 2. So far. Now we have this. Sorry. into the chorus. All right, so we're starting the second half of the verse here. So that's just clucking this 3rd fret of high E and bending the 5th fret of G up a whole step. Little one again. Sorry, it's really hard to do slow. And then pick it again while it's bent and come down to 4. And do the same thing, but cut it off real fast this time. Now the band's changing to a D chord, so we're going to hit this 7th fret of G and B, and then come down here to the 2nd fret of G, 3rd fret of B. So far we've got. Now we're set up to do this next double stop run. We're going to slide up with our middle finger all the way up to the 5th fret on the G string. And then 5th fret of high E there, which will cluck. So we're picking the G, clucking the high E. Then pick the G and go down to 4. Then high E 4, back up to 5. Now G string up to 6, but cluck the 7th fret of high E. And then back to the G string. We're going to pick that, hammer on to 7. Sneak your pointer finger back over to the 5th fret of B. And bend those to match. So that whole thing looks like. Alright, then we're going to do that same bend way up here, which is 10th fret of B, 12th fret of G, just bend them to meet. Alright, so that's just a little blues move that we're going to throw in there for color. So we're just up here. So we're bent up here, come back down, pull off to 10 of G, 12 of D, and then roll it back and hit the G and the B string 12th fret, and then 10th fret, but hammer onto the 11th fret only of G, and then over to the 12th fret of D. And that is the whole intro and verse, guys. So let's throw on the metronome and do what we just learned at full speed. 1, 2, 3, go. In this tutorial, we're going to cover the first chorus. This is all tabbed out beneath the video player, same tone as before. So here's how the chorus looks. We're going to pick it up at the big riff that we get into the first chorus riff. So we just got done doing this. Alright, so that's what we're going to learn. Let's start with this riff. So we did. Alright, that should look pretty familiar if you know your scales anyway. But we're going to just add this little chromatic walk up to get into that final melody note. So we're just here on the 12th fret of the D string. We're going to follow the G scale right up. So hammer on 12, 14. Then 11 of G, 12, 14, 11 of B, and then 12th fret of the B string. So one more time. All right, then we're going to do some double stops. So let's get just that. This, you know, that saying tone is all in the fingers, it's kind of true, and we're trying to strum, but only let the D and the B string ring out. So we're on the D string, 12th fret of G. So you should be able to strum. I'm muting with my pointer finger. I'm muting with my middle finger here. I'm muting the G string. And I'm muting the high E string with my ring finger. Give it a little vibrato. Then 12 down to 10. Oops, see, missed it going slow like that. And then this one's going to be 9 and 8. So 9 of D, 8 of G. And then we'll do, so this is the 10, back to this position, and then 7 and 7. So far it's so you're pulling off on the B string and you're sliding on the D string. And then you'll pick it again on the 7th. Then we'll do this run. All right, so again, this is the kind of tone all in the fingers kind of thing. We're just, if we give it, the reason we want to make sure we're muting right is so that we can give it a nice pick there. And we're going all the way from 7 to 10, back to 7. Just the D and the B string ringing out. And then 5 to 7, and back to 5. Then the same kind of thing here. So this is 4 and 3, and we're sliding and hammering on. Sliding up on the D string, hammering on the B string, and back. And then slide all the way up from 4 and 3 to 9 and 8. So far we've got this. Let's review. Alright, then we've got this little riff. Alright, so we're just in position 3 pentatonic in the key of G, right? And so we're going 7 to 9, half bend, quick down, pull off back to 7. Alright, so we just got done doing this. Middle finger is right in position here on the 8th fret of B. But then we're going to shift our hands and get here, overbend, sorry. So that's the 7th of G, 8 of B. We're going to pick and cluck at the same time. Mechanical bend on the G string. And then we're going to come down and bar the 5th fret of G and B. Then the same bend as last time. And come back down. Then slide all the way down to 4 of G, 3 of B. Then back up to 7 to end it, of G. And then both those again. Now just pick the B string. Then back to 7 of G, come down. Now shift over to the B and the high E string, 8th fret. And we're going to end on the 8th fret of B and the 7th fret of high E. So and that's this whole first chorus. So let's turn on the metronome and play through everything that we just learned at full speed. 1, 2, 3, go. coming down the home stretch here, we're going to talk through the final chorus, or the repeat chorus, and the outro. So we just got done with this riff, and then we're going to play this. So 1, 2, 3. All right, let's learn just that much and we'll talk through the outro when we get there. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is this triplet run. We're getting out of that first chorus. 2, 3, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. And then we're back to the melody up there where we're doing a very similar thing to... we're just doing it an octave higher, right? Okay, so same kind of scale to start with, and it's a triplet feel here. So we're on the 12th fret of D, up to 14, then over to the G string, 11, 12, 14, and then up to the 12th fret of B. So 13 to 15, 12 of high E, 15, and then we're going to do the double stop starting here where we've got to mute that B string now. We're on the 17th fret of G and E, 18, and 19. With some vibrato. One more time. 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're going to do the same kind of thing. We're just walking down this these double stops here and following the melody. So we're going to want to be able to strike it nice and hard with our pick and have only the G and the high E string ring out. So that means we need to do some muting of especially the D and the B string. All right, so let's go through the melody here. We can get just that much. We're on 19, down to 17, and then we're going to be at the 16th of G and the 15th of E, and then down to the 14th of each. And now we're going to do the same kind of sliding back and forth that we did before. All right, so we're on these 14, and we're going to go all the way up to 17. And then back to 14, 17, 14. Then 12, 14, 12. And then 11 of G, 10 of B. All the way up to 16 and 15. All right, so far we've got this. 1, 2, 3. All right, and then we get to this riff. Looks like this. We're writing position 5 pentatonic in the key of G. Hopefully that's a comfortable pentatonic scale for you. That'll make this one a lot easier. I'll do it really slow. All right, so we're kind of clucking, like for example, this high E string 12th fret. So we're going to bar the B string and high E string, 12th fret of B, up to 15 hammer on, cluck, back down, and then cluck the B string, 12th fret, pull a 14 to 12 on G. So far we've got. Now we're just continuing on down the scale. And we'll want to cluck that final one when we get to the 12th fret of G at the end there. All right, so coming off that riff, it's then we go right into So we're right in that same position again, right? 15 of high E, then a half bend on 14, down, pull it off to 12, 12 of B, and then a big bend with some vibrato on the 15th fret of B. And then to end that one, we're going to come down and pull it off to 12, and then right back into 2 half bends on the 14th fret of high E. So that whole part. Second bend, and back down to 12, and then slide that up to 15. All right, so that whole part. All right, and then to end this chorus section, we'll do. So more double stop action, 12th fret of B, 10th fret of high E, up to 13 and 12, then 15 of each with a bend on the B string, then just bring it back down, and we got 14 of G, 15 of B, big bend on the 15 of high E, and then back down to 15, and then before the outro you'll see us go or me go. So that's just 16, 14, 12. Just one pick. And that is going to bring us to the outro, which looks like this. So we just got done with, and we're going to go, and it's kind of halftime here. And then we'll end with this riff. All right, so to start, we just got done with, now we're going to be on the D and the B string, 5, 3, but hammer on to 5 of the B string. And then we're going to go up to 9 and 8 on D and B, and then back down to 5, 3. But this time we're going to only wait half as long, and go up to 10 on both those strings. And then reach over with your middle finger, 10th fret of low E. Then we do the open string riff. We're going to start with just this much. All right, so we're on the third fret. We're going to bar B and E, hammer on to 5, pluck the E string, 5, pull off, then 4 of G, pull it off to open. Open D, 4th fret, G open, 4th fret of D, down to 2, open, 2nd fret of A, back to D. So the last part of the riff is going to be this. All right, so we're just 2 to 4 on D, pluck the G string, pluck the 4th fret of D again, up to 7, open G, and 7 up to 10, and open G. All right, so the whole thing. You can kind of retard or get a little slower during that last part. And then you can bar the 7th fret of D, G, and B. We're hammering on to a G triad, so that's going to end up being, we're hammering on to the 9th fret of D, 7th fret of G, 8th fret of B. Then reach over with your right hand and a nice hard hammer on the 3rd fret of low E to make the G chord. And that is everything for the last chorus and the outro. So let's turn on the metronome and play through this last section at full speed. I'll break away from the metronome a little bit at the end so we can get the retard in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2.